4 million pickup trucks, once the backbone of American work and pride, are now being dumped for Black Friday, offered at discounts that even insiders cannot believe. Dealers are slashing prices not out of generosity, but because an industry-wide financial crisis is forcing their hand. What started as routine holiday sales has spiraled into a desperate fight to offload trucks before they become liabilities. Behind the headlines and jaw-dropping numbers is a hidden trigger threatening hard-working Americans far beyond the dealership lot. Just how close are we to a meltdown that could shake the heart of the country? Nothing on American roads says hard work like a pickup truck. For generations, these rigs have carried the weight of the country, hauling lumber to build new homes, towing equipment for family farms, and shuttling electricians, welders, and roofers to job sites before dawn. In small towns and sprawling suburbs alike, the Ford F-Series, Chevy Silverado, and Ram 1500 are not just vehicles, they are lifelines. They are the first thing you see at a construction site and the last thing left running when a storm knocks out the power. For many, a truck is more than a tool, it is a badge of honor, a sign you are willing to get your hands dirty and do what needs to be done. Year after year, these trucks top the sales charts. The Ford F-Series has held its title as America's best-selling vehicle for over 4 decades. Silverado and Ram are never far behind, with millions rolling off assembly lines in Michigan, Texas, and Ohio. In the South and Midwest, nearly every driveway seems to have a truck parked out front. They are passed down from father to son, bought with overtime pay, and sometimes even mortgaged against the hope of a better job next season. When prices climbed in the last decade, it was not because demand was soft. Quite the opposite. Americans paid more, stretched their loans longer, and kept buying, even as sticker prices soared past $60,000. Dealers and manufacturers saw the hunger, ramped up production, and filled lots with every trim and color. Trucks became the backbone of small business. Landscapers, plumbers, and contractors depended on them to keep the lights on and the bills paid. In rural counties, losing your truck meant losing your livelihood. But now the same trucks that built dreams and paid the rent are being dumped at a pace that feels like betrayal. For the people who rely on them, watching dealers slash prices and treat these machines like yesterday's news hits deeper than any sales chart. It is not just inventory piling up. It is years of sweat and sacrifice suddenly at risk. Every discount ad, every fire sale, is a reminder that the system was not built for the folks who need these trucks most. The people who made pickups. America's best sellers are now the ones staring down the fallout, wondering if the ground beneath their boots is about to give way. In this storm, it is clear who gets bailed out and who gets left holding the keys. Claims of 4 million pickup trucks flooding the market sound dramatic, but the real numbers tell a different story. National dealer lot audits from November 2025 put total new vehicle inventory at 2.97 million across all makes and models. Trucks make up the largest share, but even the highest estimates show only 22% of these are pickups, roughly 653,000 new trucks waiting for buyers. Most industry snapshots agree the true count is closer to 564,000 new pickups, with the rest scattered across other vehicle types. Used truck inventories add another layer. On the same November date, dealer lots held 2.26 million used vehicles in total. Of these, about 20% are pickups, so that is roughly 452,000 used trucks in the retail pipeline. For every gleaming new F-150 or Silverado, there is a lightly used Ram or GMC Sierra sitting just a few rows away, priced to move but not moving fast enough. Repossession and auction backlogs add only a small bump to the total. Industry tracking services like Manheim and Cox Automotive report about 16,000 pickups awaiting auction or resale at any given moment. Even with surging repo rates, these trucks make up a fraction of the total inventory, nowhere near enough to tip the scales toward the sensational headline numbers. Another chunk of trucks sits in transit, at ports, rail yards, or on freight lines, waiting for titles to clear before they hit dealer lots. That pipeline holds around 55,000 pickups at any one time. These units are not double counted in retail inventories, and their numbers are tracked closely by shipping manifests and DMV backlogs. When you add it all up, new, used, repo, and in transit, the best available evidence points to about 1.09 million unique pickup trucks in the U.S. retail and wholesale pipeline this Black Friday. Even with a generous margin for shadow inventory and reporting gaps, the total never cracks 1.2 million. The myth of 4 million dumped trucks falls apart under forensic audit. The confusion comes from double counting, trucks that move from dealer lots to auction, then back to retail, sometimes showing up in multiple data sets. Some headline figures even sweep in SUVs, vans, or trucks already sold but not yet titled. Every number in this audit is grounded in VIN-level inventory, auction manifests, and DMV records. Satellite images and drone footage may show miles of parked trucks, but the hard data cuts through the hype. For the families and small businesses counting on a deal, the real question is not how many trucks are out there, but why so many are piling up, and what happens next when the discounts are not enough to keep the wheels turning. They sell headlines. We are hardworking Americans who need answers, and the data shows this is a serious inventory problem, but not the 4 million truck apocalypse some headlines promised. Every unsold truck sitting on a dealer's lot isn't just a missed sale, it's a debt clock ticking louder by the day. Dealers do not own most of the trucks outright. Instead, they rely on floor plan loans, massive revolving credit lines from banks and specialty lenders that front the cash for inventory. Each new F-150, Silverado, or Ram rolling off a car carrier lands on the lot already carrying interest, insurance, and rent. The longer a truck sits, the more it eats away at a dealer's bottom line. Interest rates that hovered around 4% just a few years ago have doubled or even tripled for some dealers. By November 2025, many are paying 9% to 12% on unsold inventory. For a $60,000 truck, that's nearly $500 a month in interest alone. Add insurance premiums, lot rent, and reconditioning, and holding onto a single full-size pickup can cost $1,400 or more for just 2 months. Multiply that by dozens or even hundreds of trucks, and the numbers get ugly fast. Lenders now demand partial principal repayments, called curtailments, at 30, 60, and 90 days. Miss a payment, and the consequences are immediate. Lenders can freeze credit lines, demand full repayment, or send auditors to inspect every car on the lot. Some dealers receive cut notices with just 10 days to raise cash or face forced liquidation. One chief financial officer at a 10-store dealer group describes the pressure as relentless. After their advance rate dropped from 100% to 90% mid-year, their monthly interest bill soared from $70,000 to $115,000. When several trucks aged past 120 days, the lender called for an auction. The group lost an average of $4,000 per truck, wiping out a year's worth of profits in a single quarter. For smaller independents, the squeeze is worse. A rural dealer with 25 pickups watched interest jump to 10.5% and got hit with a demand to pay off every truck older than 4 months. With local buyers scarce and floor plan costs doubling, they had no choice but to slash prices 15% below book value. Another metro area operator saw carrying costs top $150,000 a month by summer. After 2 missed curtailments, their lender pulled the credit line, forcing half the inventory into auction at a loss. Staff was cut from 18 to 5 in less than 4 months. Manufacturers offer some relief, but only for the biggest and most stable franchise groups. For everyone else, Shrinking support means the burden falls squarely on the dealer. Every truck that sits unsold is a liability, not an asset. The system is engineered so that lenders get paid first, no matter what. Dealers are left with a stark choice: discount deeply and take the hit, or risk losing access to credit entirely. The panic pricing sweeping the country isn't just about moving metal. It's about survival in a financial game where the rules keep changing and the deck is stacked against the people who keep America rolling. Jason and Maria always dreamed of owning a truck that could handle both the daily grind and weekend escapes. In the spring of 2022, with overtime stacking up and a new baby on the way, they signed for a Ford F-150 at a local dealership in Des Moines. The sticker price was $54,000, but the sales pitch made it sound manageable. Just $4,800 down, and payments stretched over 7 years at 8% APR. For a while, the truck did everything they needed. Jason hauled drywall for his contracting jobs, Maria used it to shuttle the kids, and they even squeezed in a few camping trips. But as months passed, costs piled up. Insurance premiums climbed, gas prices spiked, and every oil change seemed more expensive than the last. Then work slowed. Jason's hours were cut back after a big commercial project fell through. Maria picked up shifts at a diner, but it barely covered groceries. The truck, once a symbol of progress, turned into a monthly reminder of what they owed. Almost $800 due every 4 weeks, on top of repairs. When the transmission started slipping, the warranty would not cover it. Their savings vanished in a single repair bill. By late 2024, the value of their F-150 had dropped far below what they still owed. They were upside down by nearly $12,000, with no way out. Jason called the bank to ask about refinancing, but the answer was no. Maria tried to sell the truck privately, but buyers offered less than $30,000, barely half the loan balance. After missing 2 payments, the calls started. Letters from the lender warned of repossession. Jason remembers the night he parked the truck at the bank's lot and left the keys in the drop box. It felt like giving up a piece of their future. Across the country, stories like theirs are multiplying. In Nashville, a single father named Marcus lost his job at a distribution center and could not keep up with payments of $895 on his Silverado. After 3 missed payments, the repo agent showed up before sunrise. In Mesa, Arizona, a construction worker named Luis watched his Ram 1500 disappear from the driveway after falling behind on a loan that never got cheaper, only harder to pay. Each of these trucks started as a promise, mobility, and opportunity, a way to keep working and provide for family. But as prices soared and loans stretched longer, the safety net wore thin. The repo lots are filling up with pickups that once built America's homes and businesses. For every dealer desperate to clear inventory, there is a family losing the vehicle that carried their hopes. The pain does not end with a missed payment. It ripples through households, neighborhoods, and small towns, leaving behind empty driveways and broken plans. The real cost of panic selling is not measured in discounts or rebates, but in the lives upended when the system stops working for the people who need it most. Manufacturers didn't wait for the market to correct itself. They pulled out the playbook and started rewriting the rules in real time. On November 5th, internal memos from Detroit to Dallas landed in dealer inboxes with a simple message: move trucks at any cost. Overnight, rebates on the Silverado and Sierra jumped by as much as $8,000, and Ford's incentives stacked up so quickly that sales managers had to double-check the math. One Midwest franchise manager described it as rebate whiplash, with offers changing by the hour, not the week. These weren't the standard year-end discounts. Automakers rolled out emergency bonus cash, stackable with existing deals, and tied them to volume targets that only the largest dealers could realistically hit. For a dealer in Phoenix, that meant an extra $2,000 per truck if they cleared 40 units before Thanksgiving. In Detroit, a suburban group was promised $500,000 in bonus funds if they could unload every 2024 model by December 1st. Smaller independents, already drowning in floor plan interest, watched the offers roll in, but knew they'd never qualify for the biggest payouts. The real kicker was this: most of these incentives came with a catch. Hit the sales target, and the bonus lands. Miss by even a single truck, and the money disappears. It's a system built to reward the giants and punish the rest. One dealer owner in Oklahoma called it a casino where the house always wins. The pressure to move metal forced desperate choices. Advertise trucks at $12,000 off MSRP, throw in free maintenance, or offer to pay off a buyer's old loan no matter how underwater. Some lots listed F-150s and Rams below wholesale just to keep cash flowing and avoid a lender cut notice. While the big automakers spun these offers as a win for consumers, the reality was far harsher for the people on the ground. Dealers carried all the risk. Every rebate, every bonus, was a lever pulled at corporate headquarters, shifting the burden down the chain. When a truck sat too long, it wasn't the manufacturer on the hook. It was the local dealer, staring down a ballooning interest bill and a shrinking shot at survival. Volume targets turned into a high-stakes game of chicken, with livelihoods hanging in the balance. By mid-November, the price freefall was impossible to ignore. Ads boasted $15,000 off sticker, 0% financing, and lease deals that looked too good to be true. But behind every Black Friday blowout banner was a dealer doing the math, calculating how much more they could lose before the bank called in the note. The corporate rebate machine had done its job, pushed risk off the balance sheets in Detroit and onto the backs of the people who keep America's trucks moving. For the average buyer, it looked like a windfall. For the dealer, it was a last-ditch attempt to survive a system rigged from the start. At dawn, repo yards on the outskirts of Dallas and Atlanta opened their gates to a line of tow trucks, each one hauling another late-model pickup seized overnight. The surge is not subtle. Industry trackers put repossessions up 38% from last year, with pickups leading the charge. Rows of F-150s, Silverados, and Rams, some less than a year old, now sit shoulder to shoulder behind chain-link fences. Operators say they have never seen so many trucks arrive so quickly. The lots fill faster than they can process titles or schedule auctions. By mid-October, every available space is packed. Overflow spills onto rented farmland and abandoned mall parking lots, where security guards patrol miles of gleaming chrome and empty dreams. Auction managers scramble to keep up. On some mornings, intake teams process more than 150 pickups before noon. In Houston, the Manheim Regional Hub launches special pickup-only auction days just to clear the backlog. One operator describes the scene as a rolling flood, trucks arriving faster than buyers can bid. Each repo represents a loan gone bad, a family or small business pushed past the breaking point. Titles stack up in the office, each one a record of someone's plans unraveling. For every truck that crosses the auction block, dozens more wait their turn. The numbers are relentless. Nationally, more than 16,000 pickups sit in repo or auction limbo on any given day, a figure that barely made a dent in years past, but now signals a system under strain. Yard capacity becomes a daily math problem. Where to put the next batch, how to keep lenders happy, how to move metal before another wave hits. Operators talk about intake events the way others describe natural disasters: sudden, overwhelming, impossible to predict. The backlog is not just a local headache. Wholesale prices for late-model pickups collapse as auctions are flooded with supply. Dealers, already drowning in unsold inventory, hesitate to buy. Trucks that fetched $40,000 last spring now struggle to clear $28,000. Some units circle from one auction to the next, unsold and unwanted, their value dropping by the week. The repo surge turns every yard into a pressure valve, one that is dangerously close to blowing. auction managers warn lenders that if intake keeps climbing, they will have to turn trucks away or dump them at whatever price the market will bear. For the people running these yards, the crisis feels personal. They see the names on the paperwork, the welders, the farmers, the single moms, each one forced to give up the truck that kept their world running. Every intake is another story of a system stacked against the working class, another reminder that when the credit machine seizes up, it is ordinary Americans who lose their grip first. The repo backlog is not just a number, it is a choke point where hard work, hope, and debt all collide, and where the fallout from panic selling lands hardest on the people who can least afford it. Legal envelopes start landing on dealer desks before sunrise. The language is blunt. Inventory recall, auction mandate, pay now or surrender collateral. Lenders aren't asking anymore. They are demanding. For hundreds of small and mid-sized truck dealers, the dreaded cut notice comes by certified mail, email, and even text. The terms are non-negotiable. Clear every truck over 90 days old within 10 days, or the bank will seize and liquidate the lot themselves. Overnight, the stress of slow sales turns into outright panic. Phones ring non-stop in back offices as owners scramble to line up wholesale buyers, call in auctioneers, and beg for extensions that rarely come. One dealer in Tulsa opens his inbox to find a floor plan lender's final warning: repay $1.2 million in principal by Friday or prepare for forced auction. He calls his risk manager, who is already on hold with another lender threatening to freeze their credit line unless 20 trucks clear by week's end. The math is brutal. Trucks that cost $62,000 last spring now fetch offers of $44,000 at auction. That's an $18,000 loss per unit, multiplied across rows of unsold metal. There is no time to negotiate. The auction is scheduled for Tuesday. Buyers know the score, they show up with lowball bids, aware the seller is cornered and the bank wants cash, not excuses. By noon, the price cascade is in full swing. Group chats among dealers light up with desperate offers. F-150s at $20,000 below sticker, Silverados bundled with free service contracts, Rams thrown in with zero down, and a gas card just to get them off the books. Some dealers start quietly calling competitors, hoping to offload aging inventory before lenders catch on. Others rush to update online listings, slashing prices every hour as the deadline ticks closer. For the people running these lots, the sense of control vanishes in a heartbeat. One owner stares at the recall letter and wonders if he will make payroll next week. His risk manager flips through the auction schedule, calculating how many units need to move just to keep the doors open. There is no safety net, every lender is enforcing the same rules, and every day lost means another round of penalties. The frenzy spills over to the auction floor. Trucks that would have drawn bidding wars last year now struggle to get a single offer above wholesale. Lenders push for immediate liquidation, unconcerned with the bloodbath in values. The dealer's loss is the bank's insurance against further risk. For the big national groups, it is a tough quarter. For the independents, it is survival on a knife's edge. The legal notices don't care about family legacies, loyal customers, or years spent building a business. They care about cash, and they want it now. In the scramble, the people who built America's truck lots are left to watch their hard work disappear in a matter of days. Source: Knowledge base, user-provided video title. 4 million pickup trucks dumped for Black Friday. When the trucks stop moving, so does the money for everyone tied to the business. In towns across the Midwest and South, parts suppliers and service shops wake up to contracts canceled overnight. A transmission rebuilder in Wichita, who spent 20 years supplying local dealers, gets a call on a Monday morning. No more orders until further notice. The parts warehouse he delivers to every week slashes its standing inventory by half. Mechanics who once worked overtime to keep fleets running now watch lifts sit empty, their hours cut with no warning. One shop owner in rural Oklahoma lays off 3 of his 6 technicians before Thanksgiving, telling them there is just not enough work to go around. This crunch is not limited to dealerships. Upholstery shops, tint installers, and detailers who built their businesses on prepping new trucks for delivery now scramble for odd jobs. A family-run paintless dent repair outfit in Indiana, which once counted on steady dealer volume, sees its monthly revenue drop by 60% in a single quarter. The owner, who employs his 2 sons, faces the hardest decision of his career: who to keep and who to send home. Local towing companies, who once made a living hauling in trade-ins and delivering fresh trucks to buyers, now find themselves working repo lots, moving seized vehicles for a fraction of their usual fee. For every truck that leaves the lot, another job disappears. Payrolls shrink. Overtime vanishes. In some towns, the only new business comes from bankruptcy attorneys and auctioneers, both suddenly flush with calls from desperate shop owners and laid-off workers. The pain hits hardest at the bottom. A single mom in Texas who spent years cleaning and detailing trucks for a major dealer gets her hours cut to 0. She picks up shifts at a grocery store, but the pay barely covers rent. A parts driver in Georgia, who once made a living on commission, now waits by the phone, hoping for a delivery that never comes. In the break rooms and back offices, there is no talk of Black Friday deals, only of who is next to lose their job and how long the savings will last. The ripple effect spreads far beyond the showroom floor. Every truck that goes unsold is a missed paycheck for someone down the line. The big companies may write off the losses, but for the families who depend on these jobs, there is no bailout coming. The layoffs, the shuttered shops, the empty bays, these are the real costs of a system that treats trucks like numbers on a spreadsheet, not the backbone of working America. Today, record auto loan defaults and soaring interest rates push working Americans to the breaking point, while corporations scramble to offload trucks at any cost. As these fire sale deals sweep the nation, the divide between industry risk and consumer reality grows sharper. The choices made now, by companies and by buyers, will shape the next chapter of America's economy. In a market built on trust, who gets left holding the keys? Share your thoughts below.